Dear students, how are you? Hopefully you all are doing well. This is Amit Saha, lecturer, Department of Mathematics, Milestone College. Today we are going to discuss about the basic part of the trigonometry. Actually, if we have the sound knowledge about trigonometry, that is differentiation, integration and trigonometry, from these three chapters you will get 3 CQ. And these 30 marks will be very easier if you have the sound knowledge about basic part of the trigonometry. Okay, let's have a look our today's class. So dear students, according to our lesson plan, today we are going to discuss about the basic part of the trigonometry. This basic lecture will be depending on the formula first. Okay, say first we are trying to focus on a formula named sin A plus B. What is the formula for sin A plus B? We know that sin A plus B should be sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Okay, but if the formula is looks like that, sin A minus B, then what will be the formula of it? That's the very same, but here it should be minus. So the formula should be sin A cos B, but here it should be negative. Since the value in here was negative, that's why it was also negative. So sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So sin A plus B is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B, and sin A minus B is sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. Okay, so what about cos of A plus B? Cos of A plus B. What's the formula of it? Cos of A plus B should be cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Dear students, look at the board very carefully. When the formula of cos A plus B, it actually cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. So if here is plus, then we will get minus, and also at the case of cos, there will be both term will be the same, that is cos cos sin sin. Okay, then what will be cos of A minus B? Obviously, I think you can understand, it should be cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. So when it is minus, we will get the value plus. So these four formula are very important and basic formula for you. Now we move on to tan A plus B. It should be tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A tan B. So tan A plus B, the formula of it is tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A tan B. So what will be for tan A minus B? That must be tan A minus B should be just sign should be changed. So tan A minus tan B divided by 1 plus tan A tan B. So tan A minus tan B divided by 1 plus tan A tan B. So now we move on to the our another formula, that is cot. Now we are going for, here is tan, now we are going for cot. Okay, what's the formula for cot A plus B? Look at the board very carefully. Tan A plus B is tan A plus tan B 1 minus tan A tan B. So cot should be from here 1 minus cot A cot B. So we can write like this way, that cot A cot B minus 1 divided by cot A plus cot B. Cot A cot B minus 1 divided by cot A plus cot B when it is plus. But what about the minus? When it is minus, then it should be, it follow like that. So 1 plus tan A tan B, so it should be cot A cot B plus 1 cot A cot B plus 1 divided by cot A minus cot B. So this formula, all the formula are very important for your chapter 7, I mean trigonometry part. Dear students, actually these are the basic formula, and if you memorize all of these basic formulas, then others all formula can be found from these formulas. Let's have a look that which formula are there and how can we find from these main formulas. Okay, so our first part should be here sin A plus B equal sin A cos B plus cos A sin B, and sin A minus B should be what? A minus B should be sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. So if we subtract these two, then what we will get, or add these two, then what we will get? First, if we add these two, then what we will get? Sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. Okay, write down that sin A plus B plus sin A minus B equal to, when we are going for addition of it, so these two part will be what? Subtracted. So it should be 2 sin A cos B. So we have to memorize the formula of it, that 2 sin A cos B equal what? 2 sin A cos B is sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. Do you need to memorize this formula? No, no way. We will just understand that from where this formula has came. 2 sin A cos B, the formula of it should be sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. Okay, so if we subtract these two, then what we will get? If we subtract, then this, all the signs should be changed. So on that time these two will be gone. So we'll get sin A plus B minus sin A minus B, that should be 2 into cos A sin B. So the formula of 2 sin A cos B is sin A plus B plus sin A minus B, and 2 cos A sin B is sin A plus B minus sin A minus B. So these two are the formulas. Now we are going for another two formula which has been coming from the main formula of cos. Let's see. So here we know a value of cos theta, or cos of A plus B should be what? Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. We have already known that cos of A plus B is cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. And what will be cos A minus B? Tell me. Exactly, cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. Good. So again, if we add, then what we'll get? If we subtract, then what we'll get? If we add, then we'll get, if we add these two, then we'll get cos A cos B, or cos A plus B plus cos A minus B when we're adding, then this two part has been gone. So we'll get 2 cos A cos B, 2 cos A cos B, and if we subtract these two, then what we'll get? When we are going for the subtraction, all the signs should be changed. So it should be minus, it will be minus, it will be again minus. Then we'll get what? We'll get cos A plus B minus cos A minus B equal 2 into, just this 2 has gone, so this is minus and this is also minus, so minus minus, so minus sin A sin B. So we will get minus 2 sin A sin B equal this. So what will be the value for 2 sin A sin B? This minus will go here. So if we multiply minus in here, then it will be plus and it will be minus. So it should be cos of A minus B minus cos of A plus B. So here this is the formula of 2 sin A sin B, and here the formula of 2 cos A cos B. So one conclusion we can take from here, that is, when the first part, when we are going for 2 into first part, what is talking about 2 into first part, then it should be plus. 2 into first part, it should be plus, and 2 into second part, it should be minus. Clear? So 2 into first part means these two should be plus, and 2 into second part, that should be, this should be minus. For all cos and sine, these all are actually what? Same. So actually, in a nutshell, if I am trying to focus on that, which formula we are talking about, this was our 4-number formula and this formula was number 3. So what was what 1 and 2? Just recap. Our one formula was what? 1-number formula was sin A plus B plus sin A minus B equal to 2 into sin A cos B, and number 2 formula was what? Number 2 formula was sin A plus B minus sin A minus B should be 2 into cos A sin B. So actually we have found 1, 2, 3, 4, all of these 4 formulas from the original 4 formulas. So no need to memorize these formulas. You have to understand that from where these formulas are come. Clear? Okay. Now just look at the board very carefully. Here 2 cos A cos B equal A plus B and plus cos of A minus B. Here cos of A minus B minus cos of A plus B is 2 into sin A sin B. Here sin A plus B plus sin A minus B equal to 2 into sin A cos B. Sin of A plus B minus sin of A minus B equal to 2 into cos A cos sin B. What I wanted to go for the next part, this was our, already we have learned 4, 4, 4, so 12 formulas. Now we are trying to focus on another 4 formulas which are again very important. On that types of formula, we are generally assume that this is C and this is D. So sin C plus sin D equal what? Sin C plus sin D equal what? To see that formula, just a minute, we need to understand something first. So dear students, what I was talking about, sin A plus B plus sin a minus b equal 2 into sine a cos b. If we are going for letting that our a plus b is c and a minus b is d, then what's the value for a and b? Exactly, we'll going for the addition first. So 2a should be c plus d, so a should be c plus d by 2. Again, if we are going for the subtraction part, then it should be subtraction, then there will be some signs. It should be minus, it should be plus, it should be minus. So a again, so on that time it should be 2b equals to c minus d, so b should be c minus d divided by 2. So we have a lot of formula, we have a lot of values we have been found here. Now just putting all the values in here, then what we'll get? We'll get sine c plus sine d equal 2 into sine c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. Do you think we have to memorize these formulas? Obviously not, because here we have been just assuming that a plus b is c, a minus b is d. So sine c plus sine d should be 2 into sine c plus d by 2 cos c minus d by 2. Very simple. Similarly, just I wanted to erase, then I will go for the another. If I am writing here, there is sine c minus sine d, so it should be 2 into sine c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. Sorry, it should be cos and that should be sine. Cos and sine, because we have a formula that is sine a plus b what? Okay, just a minute, I have to write the original formula first. Sine a plus b minus sine a minus b was what? Do you remember the formula? 2 into cos a sine b. Just putting down the value of a and b in here, and here sine a plus b is c, a minus b was d. So now actually we have found these two formulas actually from the previous formula, that is question number formula number 1 is this and formula number 2 is here. So sine c plus sine d is 2 sine c plus d by 2 cos c minus d by 2, sine c minus sine d is 2 cos c plus d by 2 sine c minus d by 2. From where we have been found, we have already known sine a plus b minus sine a minus b was 2 into cos a sine b. That's why we can write that. So another two formula we can write what? For cos we can write another two formulas, that is what? Cos a, do you know the our main formula is cos a plus b plus cos a minus b was what? 2 into cos a cos b. Do you remember that formula? And from where our 3 number formula should be cos c plus cos d, that is 2 into cos c plus d by 2 cos c minus d by 2. Okay, so what about our last formula? Our last formula was cos of a plus b minus cos of a minus b was minus 2 into sine a and sine b. Do you remember the formula? Cos a plus b minus cos a minus b was minus 2 sine a plus b into sine a minus b. I think you have remembered that. So from there we can write what? So our four number formula should be cos c minus cos d should be minus 2 into sine c plus d by 2 into sine c minus d by 2. But here was minus, that's why this minus will be going there. So if this minus is going here, then we can write what? We can write 2 sine c plus d by 2 sine d minus c by 2. So I think, my dear students, you can understand our these four formula, that is sin c plus sin d, sin c minus sin d, cos c plus cos d, cos c minus cos d. These all the formulas are nothing but the main formulas. If you have the clear concept of the main formulas, then you can go for this formula very easily. Okay, so let's have a look our next part. So dear students, now we move on to our these formulas. Actually, this is our one formula and this is the formula number 2. That is sin 2a equal to sin a cos a, and cos 2a has the formula that is cos square a minus sin square a, 2 cos square a minus 1, 1 minus 2 sin square a. Do you have to remember these formulas? I don't think so. Why? Because yes, you have already can understand. That is, we know a formula sin a plus b equals to sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. Since here all are a, that's why we can write here sin all should be a plus a plus a. Okay, so what will be that? Sin a cos a sin a. So sin a cos a sin a means what? Sin a cos a and sin a cos a. What you can write? Sin a cos a plus sin a cos a. So we can write here 2 into sin a cos a. So actually sin a plus a can be also compiled as like sin 2a. So the sin 2a should be 2 into sin a cos a. Actually this formula is nothing but our original formula, where b has been replaced with a. Clear? So I think you can understand this. Similarly, if we are going for the cos, then we'll get cos 2 equal cos square a minus sin square a. I think you all can understand this, but I will show you again. So now we are going for cos a plus a. We know our value cos a plus b equal what? That is cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. That is the formula we know. So here if b is replaced with a, then what we can write? Cos a plus a should be cos a minus sin a sin a. So it can be written as cos 2a should be cos square a minus sin square a. So this formula has been proved. Okay, now if cos square a minus sin square equal to cos 2a, then if we change this sign, then what will be that? I mean, I wanted to say, I think this is the one formula for us. So this is the number 1 formula. Now this cos square remain unchanged, but we can write here this as 1 minus cos square a, because we know a formula what? Sin square a plus cos square equal to 1, and sin square a can be written as 1 minus cos square a, isn't it? So sin square a should be 1 minus cos square a. Then just calculate, then what you will get? Cos square a minus 1 plus cos square a. So cos square a plus cos square equal to cos square a minus 1. So we get 2 cos square a minus 1. Now it's the time for you to prove cos 2 equal 1 minus 2 sin square a. I know that you can understand, because cos square a should be changed from here. So cos square a should be 1 minus sin square a. So if we write at the place of cos square a is 1 minus sin square a, then our proof will be done. Okay. Now let's have a look our next part. So dear students, we have already known that cos 2a equal to cos square a minus 1 and cos 2a equal to 1 minus 2 sin square a. But we have to modify these two by like this way, that 2 cos square a can be written as 2 cos square a can be written as 2 cos a plus 1, so 1 plus cos 2a, and 2 sin square, if it sends its side, it should be 2 sin square a should be 1 minus cos 2a. So 1 plus cos 2a, 2 cos square a, 1 minus cos 2a, 2 sin square a. So if we divide these two, then we'll get tan square a equal 1 plus cos 2a divided by 1 minus cos 2a. So if we divide this, we have to go for actually this divide that, this part 1 divide 2, so 1 divide 2, then we'll get 1 minus cos 2a divided by 1 plus cos 2a, because we know sin theta divided by cos theta is tan theta, and 2 will be gone. So 1 minus cos 2a divided by 1 plus cos 2a. If tan theta equal this, then what will be our another 2, that is sin or cos. So dear students, now we know a formula of tan theta is, tan of a plus b is tan a plus tan b divided by 1 minus tan a tan b. So what will be tan a plus a? What will be tan a plus a? Tan a plus tan a divided by 1 minus tan a tan a. So tan 2a should be 2 tan a divided by 1 minus tan square a. Similarly, if we are going for cot a, then what will be that cot 2a? If we are going for the value for cot 2a, then the value of cot 2a should be cot square a minus 1, cot square a minus 1 divided by 2 cot a. Cot square a, cot 2a should be cot square a minus 1 divided by 2 cot a. Similarly, if we just calculate, then we will get to. So these two are the formulas. Clear? So in a nutshell, that's the last part. Here tan 2a is 2 tan a divided by 1 minus tan square a. Cot 2a is cot square a minus 1 divided by 2 cot a. Then it should be sin 2a is 2 tan a divided by 1 plus tan square a. So what I am going for the summarization, because tan 2a is 2 tan a by 1 minus tan square a, but for sin 2a only one change is there, that is 2 tan a divided by 1 plus tan square a, that is sin 2a, and cos 2a is 1 minus tan square a by 1 plus tan square. So all must have to memorize this formula in any ways, because these three are very important for our all when we are going for the solution of the math. Okay, so sin 2a is 2 tan a divided by 1 plus tan square a, and tan 2a is 2 tan a divided by 1 minus tan square a. Cot 2a is 1 minus tan square a by 1 plus tan square a. Now sin 3a is 3 sin a minus 4 sin cube a. Cos 3a should be 4 cos cube a minus 3 cos a. Tan 3a is 3 tan a minus tan cube a divided by 1 minus 3 tan square a. Cot 3 is just inverse of it, that is cot cube a minus 3 cot a by 3 cot square minus 1. What I wanted to going for the summarization of this 4 part, that is here is also sin and here is also cos. Sin 3a and cos 3a, it is 3 sin a has come at first, but 3 cos a going the second part. Here is 4 sin cube a was second, but here 4. So 3 sin a minus 4 sin cube a. If you memorize only this, then you can very easily say cos 3 is 4 cos cube a minus 3 cos a. Similarly, if you memorize tan 3a, that is 3 tan A minus tan cube A divided by 1 minus 3 tan square A, then you can say cos 3A should be cot cube A minus 3 cot A divided by 3 cot square A minus 1. So that's the end of this lecture. Hopefully this lecture will be very beneficial when you solve the math from this chapter. Okay, stay home, remain safe. Thank you.